All right, today the old hoop's coming down and we're putting a brand new one up. Let's do it. It's time to say goodbye after about 21 years. Yep, this hoop has been here basically my entire life. I started out by shoveling and then we tried to loosen up the backboard some to give us some leverage so we could pull it with this rope. And I think me and Pops were a little too confident because we tried everything to get this thing down with our hands, but it wasn't happening. So we decided to sledgehammer and then said, you know what, we're tying a chain to it and using a truck. Here goes nothing. And let me tell you, Pops Dodge Dakota got that thing out with ease.
There it comes! Oh!
And apparently when Pops built this hoop 20 years ago, he dug a crater for it. Look how deep this hole is. Now that we got the concrete out, we didn't really think about what we're supposed to do with it. And now our next problem was getting this 1,000-pound block of concrete out of the hole. We tried using his truck, but that wasn't working. Leave your suggestions what we can do with this thing, and we'll be back tomorrow. This is day 2, replacing our old hoop with a new one. Here we go. Today we were heading to the stores to check out some items. We almost rented this auger, but realized it wouldn't be long enough for our hole. Then we picked up some wood for our framing and headed to a few other stores. We even found this drill that y'all suggested might help break up the concrete. We realized this drill wasn't working. We needed more of a hammer, but the jackhammer was way too big and way too expensive, so we decided to skip that for later and started measuring our wood and cutting it out to build our frame for the new hole. And since we want this new hoop to be shifted over a few feet, that means we have to dig a brand new hole. This hole is 20 inches wide and it's going to be over 4 feet deep. Been digging about 30 minutes. I feel like I'm doing good. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, so now I know I'm gonna be digging for a whole day, just like Stanley Yelnats and holes. Also, does anybody know what kind of spider this is? I found it like a foot underground. And while I was digging, Pops had went and got him a new drill to try to tear up some of the rocks so we could break it up a little easier and then shovel it out. Then I also found this crazy looking cricket bug. Please tell me if you know what this is. It's the end of day 2. Hopefully we can get some concrete in this thing tomorrow. Today's day 3 of replacing my old basketball hoop with a brand new one. We got us a hole dug yesterday. We got to keep digging today, but we're getting some concrete in this hole today. Stay tuned. Also, it's like 95 degrees today. The most important goals for today, though, are to finish digging this hole and get the old hoop out of there. I found a nice little system that worked using a post hole digger, a hoe, and then a shovel to get the rest out. And trust me, I took plenty of water breaks since Pops wasn't able to help much today. A lot of roots down here I'm having to cut out. Let's get this thing dug. And you're not going to believe this, but our neighbor offered to use his Tesla to pull out the hoop, and it worked like a charm. But eventually we drug it all the way to the driveway, and we had to get 4 people to push this thing all the way into the grass and to the curb, where eventually the claw came and picked it up. Goodbye, hoop. Finally, we started leveling out our new hole because I had dug it to around 4 feet, and then we started filling in the old hole where the hoop used to be. So that means tomorrow is finally time for concrete. And don't worry, we still have the old backboard. Today's day 4 of building a brand new basketball hoop. We're gonna get a lot done today. It's finally the day we get some concrete in the new hole, so we headed to Russell and we were able to rent this concrete mixer, but then we had to buy 24 bags of this 60-pound concrete. That's over 1,400 pounds of concrete. So we connected our concrete mixer and started dumping it in with some water. Now this is my first time working with concrete, so getting the consistency right took a few minutes, but we eventually got it looking real good. We only used 2 bags at a time in the mixer when we started filling the hole up, so this took a minute, and my shoulders started killing me lifting all this weight. After filling the hole up about halfway, we started to put the rebar in so it could add some structure to the concrete, and then we eventually got the concrete all the way to the top. And since we forgot to get a trowel, Pops used a wood board and then actually used his level to smooth it out. While he was doing this, I was inside putting the base together that would go down in the concrete and be the bottom structure for our hoop to sit on. Once we got it flush with the concrete, all we had to do was make sure it was level. Concrete's complete, day 4 is complete. Now we gotta let it dry and we're putting the new hoop up. First shot on the new hoop. Today's day 5 of replacing my old basketball hoop with a brand new one, and the new hoop's finally going up today. We first had to figure how to get this 150-pound pole onto the base. When we finally did, we leveled it out and started screwing on everything to make it tight. And a lot of you guys thought this hoop was actually going in the ground, but that's why the hole was so deep. Since it's going on top, it's going to be extra sturdy. The next step was screwing in the front arm attachment and then going around the back to put on the attachments for the raising and the spring mechanism. After getting all the bolts in the right holes, we tightened everything up and started adding the 2 arms that would go in the back of the backboard. This backboard is the heaviest piece of the whole hoop, so we had to get our neighbor again to help us out with his truck. We were able to hold the backboard up while Pops put the bolts in the back, and then we screwed the rim in and then raised the hoop all the way up to make sure it was exactly 10 foot. And shout out to Mega Slam Hoops, we had to include their logo.
All right, we got our new goal. We're gonna see if Old Pro can get it up here.
Very first shot on the brand new hoop.
Yep, so we had to let the OG of OGs make our very first basket on the new hoop, and then Pops hit him a good shot, and I had to, of course, make my signature glitch shot.
Hey, I appreciate all the support on this series. Our next project, we're gonna have to extend the driveway and get a full court out here. Let me know if we should do it. And make sure y'all follow, because we're about to play a game of horse.